The following is a Get Slammed podcast. Introducing the participants, Healy, the Lumberjake, and the Get Slammed Podcast Champion, Crawdaddy.
Welcome to another episode of Get Slammed.
About time, right, Jake?
It's been a couple weeks since WrestleMania. I'm telling you, I'm a busy guy. I'm not only doing this, I'm doing like 3 other podcasts. I got a show I'm working on with someone else. It's just too much work.
I have a new girlfriend. That's always the...
Yeah. What's your excuse?
I'm consuming.
I have a
Work a lot.
I work a lot. I go to school.
Oh, that new job, I guess that counts too.
And now I'm your Get Slammed Podcast Champion,
Yeah.
Jake.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
It's damn
Exactly.
true.
Took that from you at WrestleMania.
Well, I don't care. Like, I care that I lost, but at the same time, it's a moral victory for me because I know that I'm a better booker than WWE. Because my ideas had a plot. Mine made sense. They were overarching themes. It was just...
Well, I agree. I mean,
swerve to swerve.
WrestleMania 33, though, was not nearly as bad as 32 or 27.
Not even close.
No, it wasn't a bad show. I thought it was overall a pretty solid show till the end. But
I do appreciate that.
We'll talk about that.
They had a good surprise factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike the Royal Rumble.
I think a lot of the matches were pretty good. The only one that I was surprised that I won the bet on is I said it would be under 5 minutes with Lesnar and Goldberg.
Okay.
I wasn't surprised, but I was, because I thought maybe they'd put a little bit more time and effort into this, but it was suplex, spear.
Which surprisingly,
F5.
Actually,
F5.
a lot of people actually seem to like that match, believe it or not.
It was just a spot fest.
They're draws. People enjoy the spots.
But that's my problem. It was all spot fest. There was no psychology, as they would say, into it. And then you look at a match that had way too much psychology and should have focused more on the actual in-ring work. It was Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. That match was an extreme letdown. Like,
by far.
Why did Randy win? That makes no sense to me.
No, it doesn't. You know, with the Superstar shakeup, I am interested in what they're going to do with Wyatt on Raw. But he should have never lost the WWE Championship. Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Healy?
I did that, and I guess he lose it to move him to Raw? Because I think the move to Raw is just pointless. Moving him to Raw. He was doing fine on SmackDown. He was getting there. It took him a while to get to the top on SmackDown, but he got there. And then boom, weeks later he's on Raw doing what?
And he's still feuding with Randy Orton. I was actually just watching another wrestling news video yesterday, and I guess they're talking that this match might not even be for the WWE Championship at Payback.
This pay-per-view is an absolute crap show.
That makes no sense.
The best way I can say it. It is all over the place. People from Raw fighting people from SmackDown, people from this. Dude, it's a crap show.
I think they should have held off on the trades.
Oh yeah,
because I understand the idea to like generate more momentum and ride off of the high of WrestleMania, but there's still feuds there. So then, by like you said, by doing that, you're having all sorts of interconnecting brand fights, and you're like, wait,
it's just
I thought the point was to keep them separate.
And the funny thing is normally they do this Superstar shakeup, or originally what it's called
a trade. That Superstar shakeup,
whatever.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
It's Vince McMahon trying to single out a certain kind of.
Right, he's trying to create like a trademark.
He's trying to separate from like the NBA draft, NFL draft. He wants to be WWE Superstar.
It's entertainment.
But the thing that I don't get, is you got all these feuds that are still continuing, obviously, and then you got feuds that moved from one brand to another, because you had the Miz, Maurice, and then Dean Ambrose move over to Raw, and now they're continuing their feud from SmackDown from like 4 months ago.
It's.
I don't understand it either. I just feel like it would have had more impact after Payback and after Backlash. After both those, you do it in like July, like they originally did in the first place with the draft last year. Just keep doing a draft every year. I don't know. Yeah,
well, let's kind of get on to this week's news. WWE Raw. Braun Strowman. He's been booked really good lately.
And they're kicking themselves in the butt is what they're doing, trying to get him as a bad guy. Trying to make him look like the bad guy, but people love him. And I don't know if I told you this, guys, but I will be in KC this Monday for Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah.
So I can live tweet or live message,
post,
whatever, live post.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because I work sadly, so I only get to catch like the first beginning of it.
There.
But yeah, Braun Strowman, he's right now he's been described as the top babyface and top heel on Raw.
He went from me absolutely dreading hearing his music because you knew it was just going to be another. He's just going to beat up guys like James Ellsworth for 10 seconds. But now I'm enjoying him.
I'm not finished with you yet.
Yeah, I could care less about his feud with Roman Reigns, though.
Oh, yeah, that is true. But I just like him because he's whooping him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where it's one of those rare cases where they have an organic double turn they could do. You bring back Roman, you can still find a way to make him a heel.
They won't.
They won't. I still thought that whole... I can't get behind Braun Strowman. I don't know what it is. I just can't. And my cousin who's huge into wrestling, he posted a thing about Braun Strowman. I was like, I never thought he could work. He's not a good worker. He's like, yeah, but the match with Big Show was a great match. Granted, I didn't watch it, but I've heard it was a good match. It was a pretty solid match.
Yeah, and of course the ending really tied it together.
Which, it's so... I've seen it. Like, it's not... It doesn't give me that wow factor.
Too, but it still gave me the wow factor. I don't know. Maybe it was the ref taking that incredible bump on the side because that was ballsy. Yeah. But I enjoyed it.
I made SportsCenter's top 10, by the way.
Oh yeah,
number 9. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So good for WWE, I guess.
Yeah. Even though if you look in hindsight, normally they have the LED posts on the ring, but they
gave it away. But they
didn't then.
Yeah, and. I don't know. It's hard to get behind him just because, and maybe I'm jaded because I had CM Punk and Daniel Bryan and guys like Cesaro that I don't feel like getting the right push. Even though he's doing great work with Sheamus right now, maybe I am jaded in that sense, where it's like, oh, another big guy gets shot to the moon, who's not that great of a worker.
And here's the thing: I don't think Braun Strowman would be getting cheered as well as he is if it wasn't for the fact that he's beating up Roman Reigns.
Most people I knew hated him when he was out there. Beating up jobbers every week, over and over.
That's how you build them.
Well, yeah, but they kind of went overboard. Over and over.
Well, not only did he break the ring with the Big Show, he also threw away Kalisto and beat up Golden Truth.
Yeah. Which I'm glad if he beats up Golden Truth. You're right. This could be the greatest turn we've ever seen because he beats up jobbers that I don't care about, and he puts people out off the show that I really don't care would be on the show anyway. So maybe I should start liking Braun Strowman.
Well, Kalisto deserves to be in the cruiserweight division, but I guess that's a topic for another day.
Oh, yeah, if you got Austin Aries and Neville down there, come on.
Yeah. I guess moving on, Alexa Bliss is the number 1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship.
Sorry, Deanna.
Not surprised. I agree with you. I think she's very hot. Not surprised. Although this is scary to me because SmackDown and Raw are booking the same way. Because now it's just the same 2 people flipped. Because now you got Alexa going for the Raw title. Now you got Charlotte going for
We'll talk about Charlotte in a little bit.
That being said, I think Alexa is great. I think she could build a good feud with Bayley.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think Bayley should drop the belt to Alexa. I just don't... It's got to be Sasha Banks. And then, well, you know what? No, keep it on Bayley. Give a woman a sizable run with this thing and stop tossing it around.
Oh yeah,
because you're doing what you did to the Intercontinental title. You're taking it away. Nobody cares about the Intercontinental title anymore. If you do that, nobody's going to care about the Women's Championship. That being said, I think it'll be a good feud.
Definitely. And then lastly on the show, we did have a little bit in the tag team. I didn't write this on our sheet, but the Hardy Boys and Sheamus and Cesaro, it's really building up to be a good feud, but it's a feud based on respect right now. Nobody's done anything villainous or anything yet in this feud, which is kind of unique, actually, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, went from not really caring about Cesaro and Sheamus because it seemed like they just threw them together after that best of 7.
Which they should have done in the first place.
Yeah, I know. That ending to that feud was a little... But and then they slowly started gaining on me. I slowly started liking them, and now they're different than most tag teams in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
it's a few guys who Cesaro deserving to be at the top as paired with Sheamus, and they kind of grew on me.
It was on the top, sadly.
Yes. But
Sheamus is one of those cases. I think was it you that said that they pushed too soon?
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah.
Well, I remember I was as a kid. What was that?
Sheamus and Cesaro, they don't push enough.
2009 is when he came in. I would have been 13.
It was like
I hated him because I thought as a kid he was the ultimate villain in my opinion. I despised him.
Oh yeah, that feud with John Cena.
Exactly. So as a kid, it was the greatest thing because you hated him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny, you know, he came in at the tail end of ECW, and then he got brought to Raw and was pushed to the moon.
I remember.
And not only that, like, what did John Cena just trip and fall on the table?
Yeah, that was an accident. I don't think he was supposed to win the title that night. I really feel like that. It was like the Money in the Bank a couple years ago when he broke it. I think he was supposed to win, but I don't think he was supposed to lose to Sheamus. I thought he was supposed to win the Money in the Bank, but not that, because he clearly fell off and landed, and they're like, well, I guess the match is over. That being said, I think hopefully soon this whole legal dispute gets decided, because I feel like this would be the perfect way to bring in the broken universe.
Yes, I have heard and read dirt sheets.
Although it'd be hard because people like that.
Yeah.
So it'd be hard to sell him as a heel.
And I've been reading dirt sheets, like I said, are usually wrong, but I've heard Vince McMahon doesn't enjoy the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, and
Really, I've heard they want to bring him in.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I have read.
Yeah, nobody knows for sure.
I hate dirt sheets and why I read them, but I do.
But this would be the first time ever that WWE would bring in an Impact gimmick.
Yeah,
because AJ Styles, he's not really a gimmick.
Yeah, that's him. You know, that's like what he's.
That's just what he's been doing. Yeah, so that's not really a gimmick. But like Broken Matt Hardy, that's 100% a gimmick.
Developed in TNA.
Yeah, so they've never done that before. So I could understand one side saying Vince hates that because Vince didn't think of it, but at the same time, I can imagine like Triple H has been really influential, and Triple H is like, people like this. Let's do this.
Vince McMahon likes cha-ching. He likes hearing that sound. You know that.
And people are already doing delete all the time. Like it's not. Everybody knows. Everybody's in on it. So I think this would be a cool way to introduce that.
Yeah, and Matt Hardy, he has shown shades of it mainly on WWE.com content, but he showed a little bit of it on TV as well. But
yes, very small hint.
Yeah, it's mainly, instead of doing the delete chant over and over again, he does it once, and then like he does the version 1 thing, like he's going through like, you know, what do you call it,
identity crisis.
Yeah, identity crisis. You know, he's like a schizo right now. He's even made a joke about it on his Twitter where he's like going through all of his different, you know, gimmicks that he did in the past, from Team Extreme to Matt Hardy version 1 to Big Money Matt to Broken Matt Hardy. It's great. And he changes his name on Twitter every day.
I'm telling you, but that's smart. How often do you see us, like, understandably it's a legal situation, but how often do you see them take time and build to that? Like, I think that's genius. I think that's a funny way to, like, sort of build them up. I think either they lose the belts and is like, we got to do something to change or whatever, or they keep the belts and they like beat down Sheamus and Cesaro and they're like, delete. They even said the title reign of Gallows and Andrews was obsolete.
That was on Snapchat.
Well, yeah, but it was WrestleMania. Yeah. So, I mean...
I was saying how he changes his name every day on Twitter. Yesterday it was delete, delete, delete. The day before that it was, I think it was like Broken Brilliance. The day before that it was Matt Hardy Boys.
I just want Vanguard 1. That's all I want.
What is it today?
Today it's Indestructible Soul.
No, who's the guy? Who's his gardener? What's his gardener name?
Senior Benjamin. That's
Senior Benjamin is what I want. That and Vanguard 1. That's all I want.
That's
from the
Rebby's dad.
That's all I want from the Broken gimmick. Like, yeah, you can have all that other stuff, but I just want the stupid drone and then the gardener. That's all I want.
All right, so next,
do a Team Extreme version. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway.
we touched on this a little bit already, but the setup between Ambrose and Miz's feud. What do you guys think of that Miz TV segment?
Still enjoy the Miz. Still think he's great.
That's my response.
Absolutely destroyed at WrestleMania. It was clear that was a sad moment, but I used to be so high on Dean Ambrose, and he is just nothing now. Again, another thing I've read is that he's too comfortable in his role, and it makes sense. He's got a smoking hot girlfriend now.
They're married.
Yeah, he's got a smoking hot wife. He's making, what is he, like the 5th on the list of making the highest in the company? He's making over $2 million is what I've read. So I do think he's gotten too comfortable in his role. So I just don't care anymore about Dean Ambrose, which is sad.
And
I'm not.
I don't know. I mean, Dean Ambrose, I think, could be so much more. I mean, he was like at one time like the most unpredictable guy. I mean, even what he did when
For a while, he was the hottest thing in wrestling.
Yes, he was. Yes.
I actually thought that when he came over to Raw, that segment that he had, when Miz and Maurice were dressed up as Cena and Nikki.
Oh yeah, that was
funny.
It was funny, but
Yeah.
now it's just like, okay, where do you go from now? We've seen the Miz and Dean Ambrose recently, and
In SmackDown.
yes, in SmackDown, where it was a good thing, or was that a good thing?
No, because nobody cares about the Intercontinental Championship. And that's, like, I watched a What Culture video about that, and because I already had that thought in my mind. It's like, nobody, for whatever reason, WWE always tries to build up the U.S. title more than the Intercontinental Championship, and that was one of the greatest championships in the business. Bret Hart, The Rock, Stone Cold, I mean, all these guys, Macho Man, all these guys competed for that belt, and that meant something.
Fun fact, though, the the United States title has been around longer,
It's from WCW.
but from NWA and WCW. But yeah,
they're just more. I don't care about this feud at all. I think this was you're right, maybe he is too comfortable, but they've got to do something with his character. They got to do something with that belt. Because even if they put it back on the Miz didn't treat it like it was a big thing. Like it was just an accessory. That's all it is. I'm more concerned with the belt than these two, because these two will figure it out. These two they'll get over on their own.
Oh yeah.
Miz has already done that. I picked Miz to win a match. I rooted for Miz to win a match. I haven't done that ever. I used to think he was garbage. He's not a bad word. He's pretty good in the ring. Like, he's come a long way. He's great on the mic. Give him something. And maybe this is it. Maybe they're, they figure it out and they run something with him finally. But he's been the champion, like 6 times?
yeah, 5 or 6.
Yeah, like
that.
Oh, there's nothing to do with this. Put it on the Miz. That's all it is. Put it on the Miz. Put it on Ambrose.
Yeah, like last year really stung, because they could have left it on Ryder to see what he did with it. For a
What
while.
was the point of that?
Yeah, to give him his moment, and then okay. Now he's injured.
Yeah.
Stupid. Give it to somebody like Kurt Hawkins. Give Kurt Hawkins
Oh, good
the belt.
God.
Build up Kurt Hawkins. Because he is
Coming
not.
back. He's been buried. What is it, like 4 weeks in a row now?
Yeah, I know.
Just buried by Finn Balor.
That sucks, because he's good. Like, he's a very good wrestler.
Oh yeah, he plays
Technically, he's good.
facts crap. But
Give it to Finn Balor. Give it to somebody young and let them carry it. Hell, you could even bring a.
Yeah, now that I think of it, it's been on guys who've been around for a while now. Like, they keep putting it on guys.
Yeah,
like
if he wasn't on SmackDown, you could have put him on Shinsuke Nakamura and make him run with it. You could anybody really. You could plug anybody from NXT and give him that belt.
Honestly,
I guess not, because Dean Ambrose can't do anything with it.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but put it on Apollo Crews.
No,
Yes.
I was actually thinking that.
Yes, I agree with that. Absolutely.
I mean, he's to that level right now where it's like, and I mentioned this in the Superstar Shakeup video. I don't really care about Apollo Crews that much.
I like him, but I don't care about him.
Same here. But if you put a title on him and maybe have him have some character development, then the sky's the limit for that guy. He could be the next Bobby Lashley.
Even better. Yeah, even because he's got the look. His athleticism is unreal.
Just stop making him smile.
Yeah. And I get it. They're scared of him because he's not the greatest on the mic. But I've always wondered, like, what? That's their fault. Like,
I see him. He could be. He could be the next The Rock. He could be the next Dwayne Johnson, because he's smiling. He's just like Rocky Maivia, and people are turning on him, so use it. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, yeah, he's not that great. Whatever. Make him do something. And sure enough, that's how The Rock got relevant. He won the Intercontinental title. They changed. So I'm like, do exactly what they did with that guy. Do it with Apollo Crews, because I think it could work. But that's just me. In terms of Miz and Ambrose, I don't care.
Yeah, when we were in Chicago, I remember he got before the show started. It was Apollo Crews and versus Kurt Hawkins. I remember he got a pretty big ovation there in Chicago with that opening.
Maybe not turn him in the face. Just stop making him smile. That's what drives me nuts. Stop making him smile.
Well, yeah, if you can make it in front of the Chicago crowd, then you can make it.
They are a pretty smarky crowd, though.
Yeah,
that's why I want to go to Backlash. I want to see how
they're very smart. Like, you don't know.
Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton.
Yeah. Because where we're from, it's not a big wrestling thing. We're gonna change that, though. We're gonna be the next
Make
Chicago.
wrestling great again in Omaha, Nebraska / Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Right.
The metro area.
Well, let's crack on to SmackDown. This is man, you had a few words about this on our
Yes,
Facebook.
I did. I actually I thought about it for a while.
Jinder Mahal is the number one contender for the WWE.
Oh, you have some strong opinions on this too.
I've been pretty nice.
This will be a fun one.
I don't.
I'm scratching my head here because the last televised win, somebody said that it was actually in 2012. No, the last televised win was when he, won on Raw against Heath Slater when Heath was trying to get the contract.
Yep.
But yeah, still that's the last televised win, which was last June or July, something like that. July, yeah.
And, oh my God, I know what's happening. I know exactly what's happening. I just thought of it right now. WWE is cashing in on Syria. And
in
all
a
this,
way,
in a way, they're doing what they did with Muhammad Hassan, that character that they made.
They seem to think that the anti-American will be the ultimate heel.
Right. Well, it's because he's Middle Eastern.
It works with the crowd every damn time. Chant something against USA and they go ballistic.
Yeah, and it's like I think that's what he's trying to do because that's what they did with Muhammad Hassan. Well, it happened like after a couple years after 9/11. They make this Muslim Middle Eastern type character and they make him a big heel and they push him. I'm telling you, I think that's what they're doing with Jinder, and it makes sense now. Well, I'm into it though because I don't think Jinder's a bad wrestler.
No, not at all. He's just been jobbed out to a lot of people. But the thing about it, I've also heard they're trying to expand in the Indian market because it's also the third biggest market for WWE.
Yes, it's huge.
Behind the United Kingdom and of course the
still
US.
lives there. It seems if you've seen some of the
I think it's a lot of that, and I think it's also he looks Middle Eastern. So let's find a way to make him an ultra heel,
even though he's in reality Canadian with just Indian descent.
Yeah, right. But but they're playing to that whole idea that the average fan is not going to look into that, or I don't know. I think it's you had some opinions about this yesterday, even when you were talking to me about it. I want to see how you feel.
Well, I really thought it should have been Sami Zayn, to be honest. It's cool they're pushing a new guy, but it just feels like, it's too soon for him. He hasn't had any run in the mid-card.
Even the lower card to begin.
Yeah, and then Sami Zayn's been jobbing ever since he's been on the main roster.
He's like the most popular jobber, since Zack Ryder.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
You know it.
But and that's the thing. Sami Zayn doesn't deserve that. Maybe down the line Jinder Mahal will, but like I said, give him a run in the mid card. Whatever happened to you work your way up the card, because everybody pre 2008 did it.
Yeah.
First they were in the lower card. They came in, and then they would maybe become an Intercontinental or United States champion, and then they would go for the top titles. Which, it's like today that doesn't even matter.
Video games that they put out this.
Yeah,
you still got to work your way up.
When you got people like AJ Styles who come into the company for the first time win the top title, that's fine. Same with Finn Balor. He was big over in the UK. He was big over in Japan. You can give him the top title first. But for these guys that WWE's building from the ground up, they should have no reason holding the top tier belt right off the bat.
I think it's an interesting idea. I think it's mostly they were just trying to get a swerve. That's really all it was.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's fine. I think a guy like Jinder. Here's how I think about it. They spent too much of his career making him a joke because he was in 3MB and he always jobbed. I never thought he was a bad wrestler. It's just that's where he was put. And you're right. When they spend so much time in his career making him seem like he's nothing, then to just give him this win and put him in a pay-per-view at the main event, I don't know. You're right. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I guess I like how they did it because they brought in the Bollywood boys from NXT who have also been jobbers. From what I can tell, they've been jobbers in NXT for weeks. So it's kind of interesting to see them throw these guys together and make them, I guess, maybe a powerhouse. No way Jinder Mahal is winning this at Backlash. There's no way. But I guess I've been reading again that they want to make a powerhouse tag team And if you think about it, who are truly big-time heels in SmackDown right now? Who do people actually despise and SmackDown?
But this is, and you're right.
If you think about it.
And it's like, I think what you were saying, where you finally come around to the idea, I liked it instantly. I think you finally came around to it. I said you're still mad because AJ's number one contender for U.S. title, not the WWE title.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But I think the brilliance of it is that you hate this decision.
Yes.
You hate it. So, and by turn, you hate this guy.
Jinder Mahal.
You hate this idea. You think it's stupid. You think it's dumb. You're right. There are no big heels on SmackDown right now. And in one night, they, boom, shot you to like nuclear heat where you don't like this guy. Mm-hmm. And it's good. I think it's a smart idea. That sense, but I also agree with you. This needs to be the summer of Sammy. Sammy's got to do something big this summer, or do something. Otherwise, his career is just going to be. He's going to be like the Brooklyn Brawler. He's going to lose all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. Maybe he'll get the shot at Jinder's title. Maybe, dude, that would be the best swerve of all time if Jinder beats Randy Orton
in Chicago. Main event.
If we go, we would see that live, and I'd be like, I fucking told you guys.
I will more than likely be going. I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays off, so wrestling is what I can do for 3 whole days.
So anyway, I'm just saying that would be a great swerve, and then I think you can build a Sammy Jinder feud for the belt. Maybe, I don't know. You've got to get Sammy some kind of championship or something.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, but ever since he's debuted on the main roster, he hasn't really been in the title picture unless it's involved multiple men,
which is a ladder match.
Yeah, which is it's sad, because Sami Zayn just deserves so much more. I'm not saying he should be the WWE champion or have this shot right away, but damn it, give him like a U.S. title shot.
Give him something. Yeah.
I mean, hell, I think he weighs under 205, put him in the cruiserweight division.
No, you know what I really don't want right now, because Kevin Owens is U.S. champ. I don't want Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're great together. They have great chemistry. They've been doing it for years, back in the Indies. But I don't need to see it again. They had a great blow-off last summer? Battleground?
Yep.
Yes.
That was a great match. They don't need to go back to that unless both of them have a big title. I don't, something like that. Maybe Sami's a champion and Owens, whatever. But I think this, in a way, is kind of a smart move, because now you've got a top heel. Now you've got someone that everybody hates. Mm-hmm. And now you can go forward with it.
I mean, before certain events happened, they were planning on giving Muhammad Hassan the World Heavyweight Championship back, in 2005.
Yeah, until the London bombings happened. Yeah. They're like, we're going to just completely terminate this character. It's never happened. All right, so
Charlotte Flair, she's the number one contender.
I thought we were going to talk about AJ after that.
We will. We'll get to that, but Charlotte Flair is the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
I understand it, but at the same time... I understand it. It's Charlotte Flair. She hurts her character. But I don't understand why they'd have her fight the women's champion to go to a pay-per-view to fight the women's champion. I don't like how they do that. Save us a pay-per-view match for a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I could see her, I don't know, losing here but then winning at the pay-per-view. Losing to Naomi on SmackDown.
This is the same situation with the
50-50 booking.
Well, yeah, and it's also the SmackDown Championship is getting treated the same way the Raw Women's Championship is. Mm-hmm. Granted, Alexa's had it.
The only reason she
won it in TLC, right?
The only reason she got it.
Because Naomi was injured, but she had a decent run with it, and it worked. Her rivalry with Becky worked. It all worked. But now you see, to me, I'm getting this idea that Naomi and Charlotte are going to trade the belt. And I feel like Naomi's not going to get a sizable run, and she should.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, if anybody...
Get more than just a WrestleMania
in my opinion,
don't Zack Ryder her.
Yeah. In my opinion, if I think anybody should get a chance at this championship, it's Natalya. Natalya does so much for that company.
Mm-hmm. And she's right now the oldest woman wrestler, I believe.
Yeah, and she's just kind of she's always just middling around. She had that rivalry with Nikki that got supplanted by the Ms. Maurice thing.
Yes.
And ever since, she got put in that challenge where everybody was competing for it, but she hasn't gotten a sizable feud on Raw, and I feel like she was more deserving than Charlotte.
Dude, I just realized I'll get to see Mickie James on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's on Raw now.
I get to see Kurt Angle, dude. Monday's gonna be great. Monday Night Raw usually sucks.
Don't rub it in, because I'll be working.
That sucks. Our seats aren't that great, but still, I'm gonna get to see Kurt Angle. And if I don't, I'm gonna riot.
He'll be there. It's true.
Two childhood
It's
heroes.
damn true.
Two childhood heroes. I'm gonna cry.
But what do you think? Do you think Charlotte wins the pay-per-view? Or do you think she wins?
Oh, no doubt about it.
She's the queen of pay-per-view, even though she's lost 2 in a row.
Yes.
Well, I mean, her gimmick was getting stale on Raw. Having her on SmackDown, interesting. But, you know, it's just like what you said earlier. It's like, you know, they basically just, you know, swapped Alexa for Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly. They're both competing for the show's championship. And I feel like they could do something interesting with Charlotte. I don't think they... She's a heel, but she doesn't do enough dastardly things to make me hate her.
Yeah, exactly.
And I never...
B-word.
Oh, yeah, she said bitch. You know, I guess that makes you a heel on SmackDown because Natalya said it a few times when she was supposed to be a heel. So I guess that makes you a heel in PG WWE.
Just being mean.
Right.
You bitch. Oh! Such a big-time curse.
Right. All right, so next, I have a question for you guys. Is Lana a stripper?
No. Have you seen her? She's been working with the gimmick in NXT, and she is not a dancing woman, but they're making her dance, and it is kind of cringe. Mm-hmm. They want her to come in as like a baby face, like a big time baby face. Which brand is she going to be on SmackDown?
SmackDown, yeah.
Okay. Why'd they split? If they're bringing Rusev too, why are they splitting them? It makes just no sense.
I don't know.
Well, so that way Lana can debut before Rusev gets back, I guess.
It just, my goodness.
They're pissed at Rusev for whatever reason.
That dude could be. Have you seen? Like, I feel like he.
I've been a Rusev fan.
Like
Since day one, I liked Rusev.
That man is hilarious, and handsome Rusev would be. I think that he is so funny. Mm-hmm. He is just because, again, WWE treating foreigners. You got to be a bad guy because you're a damn foreigner.
You're Bulgarian.
You got to hate USA. No, that man is a funny man. I can see him as a top baby.
And he's a good worker too. I've always liked Rusev. Mm-hmm. I was always a Rusev fan.
Unfortunately, after WrestleMania 31, he just...
The fact that he's actually married to Lana is good for him.
Well, and
keeping that gimmick
I think
going.
that's the main thing. That, you know, I wonder if WWE is still sour about that because
that feud was stupid in the first place.
Awful. I went to where did I see that? That was the first time I ever went to Monday Night Raw, and it was when that feud. What was that? Dolph Ziggler with Lana was going on.
Yeah, and then it was
so bad.
It was Summer Rae. It was dressed just like Lana.
So bad. Got to see Lana just destroy Summer Rae. But that's the only good thing that accumulated.
I don't like this. I thought we were past this.
Yeah.
I thought wrestling was past this whole objectifying women thing.
Well, that and it must have not worked out with Emelina, so let's give it to Lana.
Mm-hmm. They shot themselves in the foot. Emma is such a... Dude, you go back
She's
and watch...
B word.
No. You go back...
And she's good at it.
You watch her in NXT. You watch her matches with Paige in NXT.
Before this, you know?
Yeah, before that.
Oh, God.
She's good. Like, her matches with Paige were great. They were great, technically wrestled matches. But then, yeah, as soon as you get to the main roster, it's like the Adam Rose thing. It's like, oh, it's a joke. They're a gimmick. Mm-hmm. You can't be all one speed. And I understand that you can't have every wrestler you have be pushed to the main event. You can't have every segment be about the titles, blah, blah, blah. You got to have some stupid, goofy things in there, I guess.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a circus, but, like, she's so wasted, and I think Lana's going to be wasted. Granted, I don't know if she's a great wrestler.
Go back and watch some of those, how they're having her work out that gimmick in NXT, and it was just bad. She's like breakdancing / like trying to be sad. It's just not. It doesn't work. She's
a beautiful woman. We get it. Leave her as Lana. That worked. Leave her as the ravishing Russian thing.
I wouldn't mind seeing her in the ring though. Still,
yeah, that's fine. But don't objectify her. I hate that.
Breakdancer.
That's so 90s. That's so like Attitude Era, and I'm so sick of everybody trying to have these rose-colored glasses with the Attitude Era. It wasn't that great. It had a lot of great stars in
a lot of great moments.
Yeah, but it was all about stupid dick jokes. It was about objectifying women. It wasn't that, other than the stuff that you remember with like Stone Cold, The Rock, and Undertaker.
Every time I just skip the women's match because
it's bra and panties. It's a nightgown match. It's like it's 2017. Aren't we past this stuff? I'm not even a liberal, and I'm like, come on.
It's ran.
Your Facebook could have fooled me.
I'm not liberal. I just don't like Donald Trump.
Oh, careful.
This isn't a political show. Anyway, but
I thought we were past this, man. I'm so bummed.
well, you never know. This could work out well. I mean, just because this happened in NXT and it didn't work out doesn't mean it can't work out on the main roster.
Well, they're working it out right now. Like, and it just It's not even. It looks so bad. She just doesn't. I don't think she fits the role of how they want her to dance. Mm-hmm. It just looks so clumsy, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because she's not used to obviously being a wrestler, because obviously she's starting out. But I think it's gonna hurt her more than it's gonna help her.
Yeah, and I don't know what they're doing.
Hopefully she'll get rid of that terrible accent, though.
She's from Florida. We all know she's from Florida. I don't know what. And then what's going on with Rusev? I don't think those two should ever be apart.
Well, I actually heard that before Rusev got injured, they actually were planning on giving that Jinder Mahal push to Rusev, which would have made more sense.
Oh,
It would
gosh.
have been great.
Oh, Rusev, come on. I'm a huge Rusev fan. I rooted for
So is
him
my
against.
mom.
Really?
She doesn't even like wrestling, but she finds him hilarious when he's cutting his promos about being handsome.
I like his music. I liked his gimmick, whatever gimmick he used.
When he came out in a flipping tank at WrestleMania 30.
That was awesome. I don't care. They try to play John Cena being the Patriot. I'm like, I don't care. This guy came out in a freaking tank.
Yep.
That's more American than anything. All right.
Let's move on. I didn't write this on the list either, but Shinsuke Nakamura. Obviously, he's came to SmackDown.
Oh, there's something else I want to talk about that we don't have written down.
Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that in a minute. Continue. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
What do you guys think of what they're doing with Shinsuke Nakamura now?
What I will say is him
What's going on?
and Ty Dillinger are just, I don't know what it is about those two, but I just see money in my eyes in those, Shinsuke and Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger is, people say like, oh, yada yada yada. I think I've mentioned this before, but saying he's not a draw, he's not a money factor. How can you say that about a guy who has an entire crowd chanting his gimmick when he's not even? Granted, it's easy. It's like the yes movement, but that shot Daniel Bryan to the stars.
Are they just saying Ty?
No, 10. People
10.
chant 10 when the ref's counting 10.
Yeah.
But still, it's easy. But it's got people. WrestleMania, he wasn't even in WrestleMania. Royal Rumble, the crowd went. He had probably the biggest pop of the night. The dude is money. I don't care what anyone says, regardless of how. You just got to take advantage of stuff like that.
Yes, and I think that could be an interesting move because these are two guys that you don't really see these kind of feuds that much because you're used to seeing feuds where you have an NXT guy come in against an established guy.
Correct.
And Ty Dillinger isn't that established. I mean, like you said, people are starting to get behind him and chant him, kind of like a Daniel Bryan thing.
Yes, it's an unreal.
Yeah, and I like that idea. I think it'd be cool. I think they'll both put on a great match. I think they're both great workers.
They're easily becoming my top two favorite in WWE.
They're not in a feud though.
Honest.
If you're taking
no, they're
yeah.
and Shinsuke Nakamura to be a guy who I don't care.
Are they tagging up then? Or they?
No, they just debuted. They both debuted. They're both on SmackDown now, so they're not really together.
I think. Okay.
They're
So
two of my favorites.
I think it's what I say still holds because I think this is what is exciting about SmackDown. It is NXT 2.0. Where
it's starting to seem like
right.
Yeah.
And you can tell that's the influence that Daniel Bryan has on this because when Daniel Bryan set out, when he was still wrestling, he said he wanted to go to SmackDown and be the star of SmackDown. He wanted to build up the Blue brand. And I don't know how much is kayfabe, how much he's actually involved with decision making and the booking, how much him and Shane actually book.
I'm sure he has some sort of a pull because of how much he's done in the past.
He is SmackDown's Triple H guy. He's a guy who's been in the business long enough and sees the trends and sees what he wants to do. And look at The Miz. Look at Bray Wyatt. They were nothing.
Oblivious.
When we didn't have the brand split, they were just kind of muddling around in the mid card.
They'll probably be nothing.
Right. But they go to SmackDown, they get built up as stars. It's all about character. And I think those two guys, like you said, Ty Dillinger and Shinsuke. When Shinsuke went to SmackDown, I was like, that is a perfect pick. That is a perfect choice.
For him to come into NXT, I had been so accumulated with WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania 32. I stopped and checked a few episodes of NXT, and I was like, oh, who is this guy? Like they're bringing in another Japanese guy no one's ever heard of, and that was just me being ignorant.
Yes,
I was at work. I'm pretty sure I was at work because at the time I had a job where I did nothing, watching NXT, that dude's entrance hit and he came out, I was mesmerized. This dude could barely speak English, didn't really talk much, and he captivated me from his first match in NXT with Sami Zayn. And since then, that dude, I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's just incredible. He's so good.
Yeah, I was in the same thing. It was for me. It was a little bit like a Hideo Itami, where I heard he's been heard by the internet. Everybody's loves this guy. He's an internet darling. He's great in New Japan, and it was kind of those things I didn't hear about him. And then when I went to WrestleMania 32. When I went to Access, they were doing NXT tapings. Mm-hmm. So I got to sit in and watch NXT, and I saw Shinsuke come out, and I think that was his debut. That might have been his NXT debut. Yeah, it was his NXT debut because it was a taping, and they held it off for a couple months. But yeah, I saw his debut, and I was one of those people in the crowd who didn't know who he was. But it wasn't a huge crowd because it was literally tucked away in a corner somewhere in Access in this convention center. And I'm sitting there, and I'll never forget it. I don't know this Shinsuke. Everybody popped really loud when they're like, it's his debut tonight. And we're like, oh, okay. And then he came out, and you're right. People were insane. It was a fever pitch, and I was who is this guy? He comes out with his Michael Jackson red leather jacket, and I'm like, what is going on? And from then on, I was like, this guy is huge. Just like you said, can't really speak English, but he's just so big.
Fun story though.
What they have with Shinsuke Nakamura right now is they're starting him in a feud. It looks like with Dolph Ziggler, which I think is really interesting. They actually had a match in his first night on SmackDown in a dark match against Dolph Ziggler. From what I heard,
I guess they have been. They're using that match after 205 Live, so people stayed to watch 205 Live.
Yep. So anyway,
which is. Okay, work something out with that.
But I do this week he didn't really show up. They just had a video package on. I actually do think that's smart. If you have nothing for him, run that package on him and, call it good. Yeah, keep the hype. Yeah.
Because people are already excited. So, and what have I been telling you? Vignettes? Is that how you say it?
Vignettes.
Yep. I said that last time. I was like, you've got to do that with these guys because not everybody watches NXT. Granted, they're going to get a huge pop because of that.
It was after WrestleMania.
And you got all the hardcore fans there too and they're from all over the world. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you gotta keep that going for the casual guys. So I'm glad they did that too.
Mm-hmm. And real quick, I don't know if you guys read this, but did you know the glorious Bobby Roode thing was meant for Nakamura. Why do I say Nakamura?
And he turned it down.
He kind of turned it down.
Which is fine. I think it works a lot better.
But I just found that I can't imagine it.
Another thing that's not on the agenda and I want to talk about. We talked about a couple weeks ago with the leaked sex tape and all the issues there. Sorry, I'm clogged up. Now they're saying that WWE looks like they're not going to sign Paige. They're not going to go forward and bring her back.
I could see that.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it is.
She doesn't care anyway.
I think it is. I think it is a good thing because. I like Paige. And she could have had a good run as the women's champion.
She was my crush.
Long WWE run
before Alexa. Before Alexa, it was Paige.
But here's the thing: she's just gotten into so much trouble, and her boyfriend's at Impact. I just think or
they're married. They got married.
Oh, they did. Okay. Yeah. Her husband.
That's disgusting. I can't get more annoyed by her posting about him, but I'm that way with everybody. So anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, she should go to Impact with him for a while, and. I don't know, maybe down the line they'll have another WWE run. I don't know if Alberto Del Rio ever will, but...
after his comments that he makes drunk in bars about Triple H and his big nose and no balls. I don't know if that will happen anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. But, I just don't... I don't think that they should... I think Paige should just, stay done. I know the Rock's still making the movie with her or about her, and it's fine, but this is probably going to be the last stand for Paige. And
pause. So, I think she should. I think they're both going to move on. I think she'll be fine. Mm-hmm. She clearly seems like she's got her mind set on something else. So I think they'll be fine with her not coming back. And Yeah, she seems pretty happy with her husband, so...
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I just want to touch on one more thing from SmackDown before we get into our top story. So, what are you guys thinking about the Kevin Owens AJ Styles feud build?
I like it.
I agree with it too. I think it's a good idea to try and make a mid-card title matter.
Which they've been doing great with the U.S. title for a while now.
Yeah, which I said earlier they don't do with the Intercontinental Championship. They do with the U.S. Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So. I know you're pissed about it, so go ahead and...
I'm not pissed about it. I do think that they should put as many titles on AJ Styles as possible. I'm just pissed that, honestly, they should have given Jinder a run, or like a run at the U.S. title first before the WWE title. That was my whole thing, and that's why I didn't get why AJ is the number one contender for the U.S. while Jinder is the number one contender for the WWE title.
It makes a lot of sense, dude. Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't. They should have picked somebody else to be...
But I'm not mad at this feud, I like it. You got two incredible wrestlers going after, a title that, at one time did not mean jack You
can say what you want.
But then it's fine. But it didn't really matter much, and now with what John Cena did do it a couple years ago, and then having the only time it didn't really matter in the last couple years was when Roman Reigns held it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But putting it on Chris Jericho for the first time, giving it to Kevin Owens, just wonderful.
Well, the fact when they put it on Seth Rollins when he was WWE champion, and they gave him both titles.
That was kind of pointless as well.
Well, yeah, because then he lost it in a couple weeks, but I thought it was a cool concept. Mm-hmm. Giving it to Jericho and playing that up. I wish they would have done more with Jericho's run.
Yeah.
That could be said about any part of that. As great as Jericho was, there was too much focus on their personalities and not enough on the championships, which is
their bromance,
which is fine because they were the best thing on Raw. So I mean, that's fine. It's tough though because I'm afraid they're gonna play hot potato with it. You know what I mean? I go back to that over and over again, but I feel like they're pushing AJ so much, and they're doing so much to push him and make him relevant. Kevin Owens just won this belt, and I feel like AJ's going to take it right off of him.
No, I don't think so.
Well, isn't it Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho at
Payback? Yeah, and then whoever wins that will go against AJ Styles.
Do you think KO's keeping it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're gonna end their feud.
Jericho's going on tour with Fozzy.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. But I don't think that they're going to have Styles win this. I mean, preview of our Payback predictions, I guess, or Backlash predictions later. But anyway, the reason being is like why would they? It sounds like they're going to have a feud between AJ Styles and Randy Orton after this is all said and done for the WWE title.
I don't know. I just don't want Randy to have the belt. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy with whatever happens.
And Randy loves being a heel. Now, AJ is kind of like a tweener right now, slowly building his way back to face. And make AJ Styles a face, make Orton a heel, because Orton does his best work as a heel.
He does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but as of right now, I'm super excited for the Backlash match between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles.
That'll be
I'm really looking forward to it.
I think it'll be probably the only thing that helped. I'm just kidding. Backlash will be a good pay-per-view. Well, Payback is a jumble blast.
Another wrestling video I watched the other day said, I feel really bad for Jinder and Randy having to follow AJ Styles and Kevin Owens and Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler to have that.
Yeah. Is there anything else on the agenda?
Yes, there is. The top story: the bullying accusations of John Bradshaw Layfield and the being pushed off SmackDown Mauro Ranallo.
Well, he officially sent an email saying that him and WWE parted ways. Sent it to Newsweek, so Mauro Ranallo is sadly officially gone from WWE. Mm-hmm. I've made it obvious. I think JBL is one of, if not the most overrated wrestler in WWE history, in my opinion. I've never enjoyed his work. I don't know what it is. Even as a kid, he was a heel. I didn't give a crap about him. I hated his stupid Texan businessman gimmick. I just hated everything about him.
The only time I liked him really was when he was doing his work with Farouk as the APA. You know,
and even then I was too young.
Well, so you didn't start watching until the Ruthless Aggression era.
Exactly.
But back in the Attitude era, back when he was like, they had this little backstage office where there was like no walls but a door, and they would get pissed if you didn't walk through that door instead of
Well, even then, like I hated his stupid mullet he had back then, his stupid mustache. I just hated him, and not in a good way.
But anyway, getting back to today's JBL, I mean, I know there's so much deeper, there's so much more to this story. Like I know that Vince kind of got stale on Mauro Ranallo after a few weeks, and that's why Tom Phillips joined the broadcast team. And it sounds like this went a lot higher, but honestly, this does fall down on JBL because, JBL had,
And I'm just sick of hearing Vince got tired of this. It's a business. You got to do what the people want. Granted, you can't do everything, but people enjoyed Mauro Ranallo. Mm-hmm. I'm just so... I get it. It's his business. He can do what he
botched a lot when he...
Yes, he did, but it made it authentic. It didn't feel robotic like all these other idiots on the microphone. Mm-hmm. And Byron Saxton, he sounded legitimate. Granted, he messed up a lot, but it just sounded authentic, and that's what I enjoyed about it. He seemed to actually put in, like, when something big happened, it sounded like he cared. And what I'd say about JBL is if you're 50-something years old still picking on people, you need to just...
Well, I think it's pretty obvious the wrong guy got fired because... And if I was Mauro Ranallo...
Well, Mauro wasn't fired, but yeah.
They parted ways officially, which is granted. I'm sure Vince said get out.
Well, I mean, that's just a way for both him and the company to try to...
Not look bad.
Save face and... I'm guarantee you they gave him a lot of money because if they would have terminated him, there'd be a wrongful termination suit.
He would have spilled his gut, or he would have spilled everything.
Because he has a mental disorder, so that's a wrongful termination, and that would cause a lot of problems. So I guarantee you they gave him a lot of money to be like, just go, off into the wilderness, do whatever you're doing,
like he loves.
Mm-hmm. But JBL has been doing this for years. When he was a wrestler, when he's a commentator, whatever, he's been doing it for years, and. Quite frankly, I don't think he's that great.
No,
believe it or not, he's a worse version of Michael Cole. Who, by the way, I don't hate Michael Cole.
Neither do I.
I don't think he's bad.
He's the people everyone loves to hate.
People are just too harsh on him because he's not JR. That's why.
Because he's WWE.
He had to follow the act of JR, and that's just not fair for anybody. And yeah, they've got other talented guys. I mean, as much as I ripped on Otunga in that WrestleMania video that we did, Otunga's not horrible, but yeah, JBL he's got to go. They've got to figure out. Maybe it's not true. I'm banking on it's true because of the stories I've heard of him when he's a wrestler. Mm-hmm. I think he's got to go, and they've got to do something.
If you're 50,
plus they have like an army of freaking commentators already.
Yeah. So here's the only thing I got to say, and I'm not defending JBL in any way, shape, or form. But to the people on Twitter who are basically saying, F JBL, he's a piece of crap, and you're no better than JBL, like it's one
thing, fighting bullying with bullying.
Yeah, it's one thing to you even use the hashtag fire JBL. It's another thing it's one thing to even say hey, what you did was wrong, and
I've been in the locker room. I know how it is, but I feel like to single out someone who clearly isn't like a grin and you should kind of suck it up maybe, but I'm not one who lives with depression and whatever lives with. So why would you even bother? Go pick on Otunga. He's a Harvard lawyer who could knock you out in 1 second, JBL. You're gonna really pick on a guy who sits next to you and it has problems.
Yeah, has mental issues. And
even then, just grow. You're 50-something years old and still bullying people. I just don't get it. Don't you get bored or have something better to do with your life?
And back to what you're saying on about what you're saying on Twitter about people bullying JBL to fight bully with bullying. That's I don't want to sound too political, but that's exactly the problem when it doesn't help at all. It doesn't help the situation. You think you're helping Ronaldo, or you think you're helping shed some light on JBL being this bad guy.
No,
they've been doing it all. He's been doing it himself. You don't need to do that. And it's the same thing when you mock or pick on somebody because of their political or religious beliefs, it makes you no better than that person. You know,
Correct.
and you're right. I'm not defending JBL, but I also don't think you should go online and get behind your keyboard because everybody's really, really, really strong and tough behind a
JBL's just gonna
keyboard.
block you anyway.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
he
it's
does.
like, it goes back to the same thing with political views and religious views. Don't just attack people for what they, just attack them because that solves nothing.
Well, and here's the one I found the most interesting. Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks tweeted to Mauro Ranallo and said, "You're the man, hashtag sick not weak." And then he looked on JBL's page and he was blocked.
Correct. So
And then
it's kind of an admission of guilt, if you ask me.
and then somebody said, haha, what did you say to him, Matt? And he said, literally nothing so strange. And this is the first thing Mauro said about the whole situation. Not surprised in the least. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, so he's just
So
obviously...
there's obviously heat between JBL and Mauro.
I just don't like the... I would... a lot of people are keyboard warriors, but I would have no problem telling a guy that I think he's
Right. And
the worst, most overrated wrestler in the
I understand it, but we don't know the full story.
Oh, obviously not.
I think it pretty much is, though, the case. I really do think JBL probably did bully him.
Oh, no
But
doubt.
again, we don't know the whole story. We don't know exactly what's going on. There's two sides to every story. And again, keep in mind, I'm not defending JBL. I think
Right.
he's probably guilty. But there's two sides to every story. And yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he'd block him because he's like, eh.
Yeah.
But somebody wrote in their book that he.
Justin Roberts.
I have heard
Yeah,
that.
we talked about that, where he bullied him. Mm-hmm. And it's not the first accusation. So
No, he's had so many different accusations. He even had accusations from Matt Hardy.
yeah.
So in other words, I think JBL should be maybe deleted.
Oh my god. We waiting the whole show to do that.
Maybe.
Who do you replace JBL with?
Well, right now, all they really have is Booker T, sadly.
Yes, I love Booker T.
I do like Booker T.
He's a
but,
madman. Shucky ducky quack quack. You kidding me?
honestly, they could bring back Jerry Lawler. Jim Ross has signed a contract.
I know. What's
Yeah,
up
but I
with
think
him?
he's just doing paper. If he signed a 2-year deal with that and he's not on
Well,
Raw or SmackDown, I think he's just doing pay-per-views.
From what I heard, he's going to have 40 dates in the next 2 years.
So yeah, pay-per-views,
Most likely, yeah.
which I'm fine
And
with.
maybe a couple one-off appearances on Raw or SmackDown.
when needed.
Yep. But I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if they're really going to get rid of JBL because he's one of the boys, Vince loves him for some reason.
And don't put it past Vince McMahon to be a bully because he has been a bully.
Oh,
Yes.
he's by far a huge bully.
You don't become a billionaire in an area like in a company
Well,
business
look
like
at,
that without.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of this, and it's been people talked about how much of a jerk he really is. So I don't think they'll get rid of him because of that. Because he's one of the boys, like you said.
And maybe, I mean, again, I'm not coming to JBL's aid or anything, but, maybe, do take him off commentary. Maybe not fire him. Take him off commentary.
I wouldn't care.
I know. In fact,
Most people wouldn't care.
Yeah, I do think that, I do think it'd be better if he did get fired. But he also has been in the business for a long time. So, Vince, if you don't want to fire the guy, take him off commentary, make him an ambassador. To kind of help out, so he can do more help for the business than hurt, and then everybody will be happy for the most part if they just take him off commentary, and maybe have him even don't put him as a trainer because that would you see what it did with Bill DeMont.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, make him an ambassador for the WWE. Kind of let him lay low for a while and until this heat wears off. But it's not going to wear off that easy.
Well, I mean, how can you? But here's the problem: is how can you be a company that I always thought this partnership was
Correct. I know.
silly in the first place. But how can you say be a star when you keep a guy on your staff that is clearly a bully?
Well,
Even though you make your money having guys beat up people, so I mean,
I actually did a little test, and I wasn't blocked by JBL, but I was. But
Never mind.
I put up a post that says
that should be a competition this week.
I said I have a feeling JBL is searching the hashtag #FireJBL on Twitter and blocking anyone who uses it, and then I wrote this will be a test hashtag be a star. But yeah, I got Yeah, I guess he didn't see it, so.
What is his Twitter? I know I follow
It's
him.
at JC Layfield.
Oops.
Oh, we're kind of quiet now. Come on, Jake.
Sorry, I'm
trying to see if he got blocked. I'm intrigued.
I know I followed that fool, but I guess I'm not following him, but now I am.
Get yourself blocked.
Yeah. But if you look at some...
No, don't be a bully.
Yeah. But if you...
We just talked about how not to do this.
If you look at some of the posts that he's put up, though, I mean, the big heat he got on Twitter was actually not about Morrow, because everybody's going to talk about that, but it's what he said about Justin Roberts, which, by the way, kind of really proves that, yeah, he is kind of a bully. He said, I won't answer net rumors, but I did not take Justin Roberts' passport. Could have been anyone. He was hated by the whole crew. He's an idiot. Yeah, and okay, so the story is that they were flying overseas, and somebody and Justin Roberts lost his passport. It looked like it had been stolen. He had to go through the U.S. Embassy, get another one, and he didn't make it back to the States, before the next taping. And then Vince kind of patted him on the shoulder and said, "So I heard you lost your passport. Don't let that happen again." Ha ha ha. And then walked off. And he never did say it was JBL. He did say, that, hey, he lost his passport, and, and JBL was giving him a hard time on that tour, but he said nothing about JBL actually taking the passport.
Okay.
But it doesn't help JBL's case that he says that nobody liked him and that he's an idiot.
Yeah, you don't need to say those things.
That just made you look like the biggest asshole ever.
I like Justin Roberts.
Oh yeah, Justin Roberts I thought was the best ring announcer since Howard Finkel. I thought he was even better than Lillian Garcia.
Yeah.
Now you're crazy.
I enjoyed both of them. I would not mind having Lillian on one show and Justin Roberts on the other.
Yeah.
For current product.
Oh yeah, it'd be a lot better. I mean, like JoJo and Greg Hamilton.
Well, this has been another episode of Get Slammed. We're gonna try to do it weekly. Maybe it might be bi-weekly because apparently we're all too busy. But who knows?
But I like my idea that if we can't get a show on every week, that one of you guys or me can start making videos. To put on our
YouTube. There you go. Words.
I know that Jake, you had an idea of how
I'm going to create the greatest scenario for Raw where I give Miz the Universal Championship.
Making the top heel.
It's going to be the start of a show I want to pitch to you guys on the YouTube channel.
Is it going to be like how WWE should have booked? Because I think that's copyrighted.
It's kind of like that, but it's called conspiracy theories because it's going to be like way out there that I don't think will happen, but could happen. Mm-hmm. I got 4 letters for you. MITB. That's how I solve all the problems. You really can. That's the beauty of that gimmick. Is it completely can just wipe away all the bad things.
I don't mean to shut you down on this, but Money in the Bank is going to be a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view this year.
No, it won't.
Yes, it is.
They're going to do it for both. Even if Money in the Bank itself pay-per-view is SmackDown exclusive, you can't tell me that they're not going to do that for Raw. That's
I don't
silly.
think they are. But they
will because why else would they? Come on.
Well, I mean, you can book that the way you have. I'll be putting up review videos whenever I can, and
I'm working on stuff. Like I said, I've got things.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
I want to start.
You can't see me roll my eyes, but I roll my eyes. So anyway, yes, we're working on setting up a Patreon. We're working on setting up a viable way to do this with a website and all that stuff. Even got some gear for you to wear. We're gonna buy the Lumberjack shirt because it's the best shirt on the market.
Mm-hmm. False.
Well, you haven't even made yours yet. I had an idea.
You cannot rush perfection.
It's true. He's got a point. That's all in the works. We're gonna have that up as soon as possible. We'll update you on our Twitter.
When we do decide to do the T-shirts, I think we're gonna do a pre-order first because the T-shirts can be expensive, and we are all for the most part college kids. So, we will keep you updated on our social media. So we'll keep you updated on Twitter at GetSlamPod, which is also at Get Slam Pod on Facebook as well.
Yeah, well,
and our YouTube.
Just
or
like
wrestling.
YouTube, just search for Get Slammed Wrestling. I have a picture of a Slammy Award holding Get Slammed, and then it has our names on the bottom.
Why are you describing the logo to them?
Because it's awesome.
You think it's awesome.
Hey, I made it in paint. That makes it awesome.
Oh my god.
That's why I didn't want you to talk about it, because then I'm going to know we're cheap. So anyway, yeah, thank you so
everybody
much
starts off cheap.
for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you can.
This has been your champion, GSW Podcast Champion Crawdaddy.
Is it going to be predictions champion or podcast champion?
We're going to call it the Podcast Champion
whatever.
because I'll have a challenge for you very soon, Healy.
Oh yes, I remember this.
I don't want to be a part of this.
I'm still thinking.
I'm not a part of this.
We'll
Legally, I'm not a part of anything that goes on.
we'll keep you updated
I signed
on
a waiver.
this later, but just know that me and Healy have something in the works.
Forget Slammed. I am Jake Williams. To my left is Crawdaddy, and right in front of me is Healy.
Are you Jake Williams or are you the Lumberjack?
I'm mysterious. I'm the Lumberjack.
He is what he is.
I am Jake the Lumberjack Williams. This is Sean Crawdaddy Crawford. What's your name?
Travis.
Travis. I keep forgetting. I'm so used to Healy. I forget you have a first name. Travis Healy. Yeah, think about that one, America. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.